Check this out.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is SilenceHD, I'm an idiot on YouTube, and today's thought experiment is no money. What would the world be like if there was no such thing as money? No concept of money, no idea of actually having something worth a value in like dollars. And I'm not talking about going towards what, Fallout did with bottle caps or, saying your belly button lint is worth money, worth something. No, I literally mean, think about a world like, I don't know, like the land of Oz. I know I'm sounding stupid, but if you think about the Oz books, or the Oz series, they never had a concept of money. They just a concept of having what you needed to live. So say for example, you needed a home. Okay, you have a home. You needed food, you had food. What do you do in exchange for that? You work and you make things. You work for a living and you make things for other people so that they can have what they need to live. So you're a baker, or you're a blacksmith, or you're a farmer, or you're some kind of a teacher, seamstress, something like that. Something useful to your community. Even computer developers, something for entertainment. That's still developing something for some people, or a large group of people. You're a musician to perform in front of people. So this concept of money, what if there was no such thing as... What if there was no concept of money? Would there be no more concept of competition for money? You think about it, you look at tournaments like golf. Would there be no more concept of like these tournaments for millions of dollars, whether they'd just be played for the entertainment value then? Sports that have, or even racing. You look at most racing, like most racing events, it's purely based on the value of the win rather than the value of just racing. What would it be like? If you wanted to go to a store and say you wanted to see the new, I don't know, a new Mark Wahlberg movie. You went in the store and said, I'd like to see the new Mark Wahlberg movie. And they said, sure. Handed you the DVD, you went home, you watched it, you came back, and you brought it back and said, here it is, good movie, hopefully somebody else can go enjoy it. What if you had that kind of concept? What about it? Like, what would it be? Do you think that we would be living in a world like that, where that would make sense? Do you think that would end things, such as wars? This concept of greed going away? Or do you think it would still be fought based on land? Or would you create some new kind of ownership? The way countries have in having borders saying that we should own this entire hunk of land. Look at North and South Korea. Should that just be one solid country? Would that not be justified with money? There's so many different things that could be solved with that. Would countries like Africa be a third world country? Or continents, my apologies. I completely had a brain fart there. Would a continent like Africa be considered a third world hunk of land? Would they be a piece of property that would have people that were considered poor? Would that notion of being poor or being rich go away? And would this whole concept of, education for the concept of education, like, there'd be people who would go through and just learn new things to better themselves. Now you'd get reward for anything. There'd be no concept of, oh, I'm not getting paid for this, so I'm not doing that. You help your fellow man in that sense. So, to me, like, this whole concept of no money is very interesting. It almost brings me to the idea of communism. Now, I'm not talking about communism as in, Cuba or Russia. I'm talking about communism as in the idea that it originally was. Now, I don't remember who came up with it. It was many, many years ago. I'm thinking somewhere in the 1800s, I believe it was. Mid to late 1800s. Somebody came up with the concept of everyone being equal, from plumbers to doctors, making the same amount of money, making the same living, having the same ability to do whatever you want, as long as you worked a steady number of hours per week to better the community. So this whole idea of no money would kind of bring us to a point of what communism was without that whole aspect of making money. So, do you think that money would be a root of... I'm going to say this, the root of all evil, then, in this case? You look at certain things. People say that the war in Iraq is fought for oil. Well, it is and it isn't. It's whoever controls the oil controls the money. So in this case, if we said that there was no money involved, controlling the oil has no benefit other than, okay, now that you control the oil, you control the way how people travel. You control all of the oil products that you get from things, such as natural plastics that are developed from oils. You'd get certain things like certain computer chips which have natural oils that are infused into them to help them process faster. You're having so many different things that would be removed based on who controls certain things. So this whole idea of what you control would not change, I don't think. However, if we never started off with money, how would we get that concept of, I own this, this is mine, you can't have this? What about that? Is there some kind of idea that would stop people? No. I think that there's a whole idea that if I have this amount of money, I don't have to talk to you. It's like this whole, I think for us, we've kind of got to this point where the upper class doesn't talk to the lower classes even, because they have money. So they don't even, some of these upper class people don't even think about people in the middle and lower classes, because to them, they don't have to anymore. So would we get rid of this whole, we'd get rid of the whole social class system, and everyone would be equal, like I said earlier. So if you wanted to go travel for a week, you could. If you wanted to see the world and you needed a place to stay, you could go and stay in a hotel for free. If you wanted to have a new car, you could. If you needed a new horse to plow a field, you could get it. So this whole concept of not having money is actually, in my opinion, it's a beautiful idea, because we get rid of this whole notion of this kind of objectivity where we make something worth more because it has a value in dollars, rather than it having a value in what somebody needs. Like, you look at the new computers. People only want them right now because if they can afford it, they can say, I've got the best computer out there, what do you have? I've got the latest video games, what do you have? I've got the best education because the school I went to costs this much money versus your community school that costs this much money. What are we saying to people? This whole idea that money kind of governs us is actually very true, and it's very sad. Because now we look at it and we think, what kind of benefit do we get from all this? Like, for me, I don't see the benefit of having money in this world. One, because I'm absolutely dirt broke, and that's usually a factor. But second, if everybody had their services for what we'd consider free now, wouldn't we all be either all poor or all rich? It all comes down to what we have as a family or as a community. For me, if I had no more money for the rest of my life, but I could have anything I really wanted, I think I've almost already have that. The only thing I might want a little bit more is, well, a little bit more time. For me, I go to school every day. I've got part of it's paid for by a scholarship, part of it's paid for by my parents, and part of it's paid for by me. I've got my computer, which I use, my editing software, which I had to buy, my HDPVR, which I had to buy, my Xbox, my TV, like the rent I'm paying, my food, all that stuff I have to pay for. But what if it was given to me for the fact that I'm going to school to better myself? What if that whole concept of, here you go, this is what you need, use it. So then, what would we be limited to? I don't think we'd be limited to anything anymore. Without money, we would have no limits. If there was no concept of money ever invented, like no concept of value towards anything, we would have rulers still. Yes, we'd still have people in power like presidents or prime ministers, but we would not have the same kind of social outrages that we do now, such as, bad healthcare in the States, it would all be paid for. Because you wouldn't have, there would be no money changing hands. So all diseases in certain countries would then kind of just slowly go away. They wouldn't be eradicated, but because of better healthcare supplied worldwide, because of no poverty now, wouldn't we all just get along a lot better? Well, I think that's all the time I got right now. I'm going to end this here, but before I go, this is Crysis 3. I think this was on the demo, so I went 17, I think like 8 or something like that. It was pretty good. I was using the Scarab. Anyways, if you guys like this, please like, favorite, and comment what you want to see next. As always, my name is SilenceHD, I'm on YouTube, and peace out, guys. Subscribe for more.